me
Oh,
okay?
okay, I can hear you better now. I can hear you better.
Okay.
But my yeah, let's have a conversation. I'm a Christian, so you, I'm thinking I'm not. Well, that's wrong of me for saying that. I think you are probably opposed to the Bible, opposed to Jesus, but not entirely. But
So I don't think the God of the Bible is a good character.
What? What?
I don't
Say
think anybody should be following him or going to the God of the Bible for moral guidance.
why not? Why don't you think people should do that?
Well, I don't think that genocide or slavery or saving the virgin daughters as spoils of war is a good moral message. Ah, he
Well,
left.
oh, I mean, because
Damn it.
God says it's okay. God thinks it
Yeah,
was
well,
okay.
yeah. So, yeah, what's up, Carl, man?
What's
I
going
watch you
on,
all the
brother?
time. I
Yeah,
watch you
yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
Hey, brother, what's going on with you?
Hey, not a thing.
Yeah, and they have a hard time understanding that. Well, I mean, which is so weird. And this is such. Maybe you can help me with this. And what do you think when people say this? Because I hear this all the time, and it's so frustrating to me. It's actually, it's really sickening to me, and I just kind of want to hear like what you think about it. But
Yeah.
the reason that God is watching children starve to death every day and watching children be essayed every day or art every day is because my God created me, and He can do whatever He wants to do with me. Well, and I'm like, what in the sickness are you thinking right now? Just
Just
because
because somebody can do something doesn't mean they
they
should do
should
something.
do something. Absolutely. I mean, I created my kids doesn't mean I'm gonna
Yeah.
if they mess up or something, I have the right to go squish their head in like a bug. I mean, come on, man. It's like so ah, I don't get it. I don't get it, and it's taken away literally. it- Parents need to understand this, and this is why I do this. Once you take your child to a church to be indoctrinated, to be brainwashed under the ideology that they're going to burn and that their God gave them a gift, and if they don't accept it, He's going to set them on fire, and that they're sinners, and that they and they wonder why it's so traumatic, why people have this depression. It's because they go through their entire life thinking that they're sinners, they're hurt, they're broken, they need to be fixed, there's something wrong with them, and if they start to question what they're being taught, that they can be struck down by a bolt of lightning. So then now they don't know which way to turn or where to go. They can't go to the Bible because the Bible does nothing but teaches horror and disgust, and it's a atrocity to mankind. And so they really have nowhere to go after this brainwashed mentality. Where so like a lot of you'll find people in deconstruction need to seek therapy because a high rate of taking people taking their own lives and things like that because they feel stuck and parents do not see a problem with dragging their children to church and to be told that they're no good that they're going to be burned in hell for eternity if you don't listen to it. And it's such a mind f that and then children have to live with this for their entire
And
life up
that's
until
that's even an option. Like, not only might you burn in hell forever, God's already flooded the earth. He's already burnt down cities. He's already done all these horrible things, and he's going to do it to you too if you mess up. So
man,
don't mess up, little Timmy.
don't mess up because already know my God, my good God, He watches children like you be hurt every single day, and He might test you, Timmy. He might put you through a test of flipping your car over, or giving your mom some kind of disease, or giving you an amputee, or whatever. And that's sick. It's just sick. It's outright disgusting when it comes to us as a species. When we know love and caring and kind and cares to be charismatic to others is the most important, right? Taking care of our planet, that's important. We do not need God in our life to have a healthy relationship with our spouse, to have a healthy relationship with our kids. We don't need God in our life to recover from some drug. We don't need God in our life to tell us to go out and help someone that's homeless or the neighbors that don't have something and give them something. If you need God, I just want to make this very clear. If you need God in your life to do any of these things, then you're probably just not a good person in the first place.
Yeah,
Period.
if you need the Bible to be a moral person, then you need more help than just the Bible.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's I like that. I like the way you put that. And that's I, sometimes I have to take stuff from people, and I like that.
Yeah. Oh no, share it. You know, I mean, I'm
I,
sure I've stolen stuff from you.
I, yeah, because I love when people are rational. You know, they're very critical and critical thinking, and they have common sense. These are the type of things I like to use stuff from people like this because it's rational. It makes sense. I can work with this, right?
Yeah.
Some of this nonsense that I hear when it comes from the Bible, I'm like, how are you even using that? They don't even. Jonah lived in the belly of a fish for 3 days, and you literally believe this happens when you know this is scientifically impossible. Like, come on, man.
So I just did a live restart to get more people in here, because it kind of died down. But one of the last things that we were talking about is how the God of the Old Testament was a jealous and vengeful God, and the God of the New Testament is like a rainbows and puppy dog kind of God, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if Satan is real and his job is to deceive you, doesn't it sound like he's trying to take you away from who God really is?
Man.
So that's
And
just
it's
something else to put in your tool belt if the
no,
opportunity comes.
absolutely, absolutely. And I always say, like, it's like you created one of the most vicious like, so God created Satan knowing that he was going to be evil. Yeah, so it's not like God didn't know this all was going to take place on his thing, right? So he created Satan knowing that he was going to be evil, knowing that you created the best con man, the best manipulator, the best liar, known to like, I'm talking about the best, and he has magical powers. Um, and then you get upset when I am convinced from this dude. Like, why would you be upset when you put the best manipulator in front of me, the best con man, the best liar, and he has magical powers as well? Like, and then you get mad at me because he convinced me? What in the world? It makes no sense whatsoever.
And then how do you determine what is true? And not just about one thing, but in general, how do you determine what is true? Like this is a question for Christians because they can't give an answer that sounds good because they have to include their faith.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which is it's a monstrous. I can't figure out how to say the word, but it's a catastrophe when it comes to mankind. Like, so, and what's happening, you will see that people, especially believers, they're literally using their feelings or faith, like you said, to determine if something is true or not, which is horrible because this is why. Because a person can take it on faith that God is real, and that's their faith. But the someone else can take it on faith that God is not real. So now, so this will tell you that faith is a horrible way to determine the truth. Feelings is a horrible way to determine if you're right or if I'm right. Best thing that we have is math and science.
Because
Where's the
how would
math?
you be so convicted to do something like the Catholic Crusades unless you had strong faith that you were doing the right thing?
Right, right. And it's the same reason people in other religions take it on their strong faith, put a vest on their chest, and they walk to a middle of an intersection, push a button, ending the lives not only of themselves but everyone around us. And we know moral, like, we understand moral is subjective, but we know that hurting, because my understanding of morality is don't hurt no one and don't hurt yourself. But some people take it on faith and they do just that. They hurt themselves and they hurt everyone around them, and they do this on faith and they say this is good. But then you have people from another religion or belief that says, you know what? Well, they're wrong. I'm right. And the reason this is because my book tells me so. Come on, man. Their book told them the exact same thing. Now, how do you know who's right and who's wrong?
Yeah.
Well, I have to just use my feelings. Come on. Man, it's so ass backwards, and people, for some reason, they do not want to look at the reality of what they're worshiping. The God that you worship, I mean, drown pregnant women and innocent children. The God that you worship, that you call Father, watches children be essayed every single day, watches children be art every day, watches children starve to death every day. There's no way that you can actually think this is moral, but you continue to worship it anyways. Why? Because you're in this brainwashed mentality of living in a culture of religious folks who believe the same thing. Therefore, you don't choose your beliefs. Your beliefs choose you. Therefore, you just jump on board.
I'm one of those religious people. I wanted to address something that you said earlier when you said, how can God be upset with man for falling, for the tricks of his ultimate deceiver, his ultimate trickster? And
Correct.
and and the a- and the answer that I have for you is that he gave man something that he didn't give any other of his creations that exist. There is no creation under God that can make the boast that man can make, and that boast is that we were given a part of the Creator Himself. He willed
Oh my
angels
goodness.
into existence.
Oh my
He
goodness. So
spoke like I'm answering your question now. I know it's, I mean I'm familiar with your platform anyhow, so there's not an answer to appease you, but I'm just going to give you an answer, okay? But when he
can
made
we make
man
sure?
before,
Listen.
so I'm not going to be.
Should,
So you're not going to let me
no,
speak?
no,
Okay,
no,
I'll
no.
listen
Well,
to you some
is
more.
brother, is the answer going to be logical, reasonable, or are you going to use some critical thinking and some common sense, or are you just going to splurge some stuff out?
I'm using the Bible.
Okay, that's not critical thinking. That's not common sense. That's not reasonable, or it's not rational.
According
So
to who? According to the millions of science. There are literal scientists, literal anthropologists, and literal geneticists that believe in creation and believe in the Word of God. But
not based on
but
science,
according
brother.
to
It's not
you,
based on
that's not
science.
100%. There are. Have you never read anything from an accredited professor speaking on
Yes,
Christianity or
yeah,
speaking
yeah.
on
There's
So
people who
creation?
believe in
yes,
flat Earth. There's people who
so
believe in flat Earth. So
No,
what?
we're not talking about just general. We're not
so
talking about just
so
your
Francis.
everyday people.
So
We're
so
talking about literal scientists, people
okay.
who
So
have
Francis Collins. Let's use
master's
Francis.
degrees and
Okay,
PhDs.
let's use
You like
Francis
to
Collins.
talk. You don't like to listen. I'll just
Yeah,
listen to you.
yeah. So Francis Collins, he's a scientist, right? And he's a scientist to help map the genome code.
That's
Francis
one
Collins.
scientist out of
So
tens of
yeah,
thousands. But we'll
he's
talk
he's
about
he's
Francis.
he's also a believer. Okay, and the reason that he believes is not due to
That's
science.
what I'm talking about.
Okay. So he doesn't believe due to science. He believes because he was out riding his bike and he came across a waterfall and it was frozen into three individual parts and it reminded him of the Trinity. So and based on his
Okay,
bias,
that
because
sounds like lunacy.
so
Now,
that's why so scientists don't use science to believe in God. Otherwise, they would have a Nobel Peace
that
Prize.
scientist, that scientist didn't use science to believe in God. Would you like
Okay.
50 scientists who have used science to believe in
Where
God? Here's
where's their
Just
one.
pick
Nobel Peace
one.
Prize?
Here's one.
Pick one.
Yeah, please. If I want, I
Name
want to
one
know.
scientist that has a Nobel Peace. Name a scientist that has a Nobel Peace Prize.
I don't know.
I hear silence. But you said where's his Nobel Peace Prize? Name any Nobel Peace Prize winning scientist.
I
Okay,
mean,
here we go.
See
I can do that.
you.
I can do that real quick. So I can tell you why I don't have to know because I had the information at my fingertips. So I can do that real quick if you want me to.
Well, I'm looking it up.
Oh, okay. Thank you, brother. Yeah, like we don't have it. Like this is what science. This is what's good about this is what science does. It gives you the information. You go to God. He like
Dmitry Muratov, Maria Risa, the World Food Program, Abiy Ahmed, Denise Mukwege, Nadia Murad, Juan Manuel Santos, um, Kailash Satyarthi, Malala Yusuf
Car-
Yousafzai.
Kara.
But what does this matter? We
Is it
don't have.
Kara? Is it Kara? Am I saying it right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. The other guest there in the box.
Well, I just see karaoke up here.
Is that what it is? I don't have my glasses, so I can't really. He's muted. He's
It looks
muted,
like
right?
his name is Ernest.
Okay.
Ernest the Nomad.
Okay. So I see you're off mute now. So I was asking you a question. Do you know what? And I'm just
Oh,
gonna be clear.
did I mute myself?
Yeah,
I
brother.
didn't mute you.
Yeah, my brother. I was gonna ask you a question real quick. Do you get to speak to your father? I mean, does he? Do you get to see him? Do you get to see your father in heaven? Do you see him?
You mean God? God?
Yeah. Have you seen him?
Have you ever read the Bible?
No, I'm asking you a question. I asked you a question. You don't answer a question with the question. I was asking you a question. Have you ever
Of
seen
course
your
I
father?
can. But I can. But my answer is no.
No.
But my answer is, and I asked you why you, if you've ever read the Bible, because you would know that no one has ever seen the Father. It
Okay.
literally says
You
it in
can
the
let me
Bible.
answer. You can let me answer instead of answering for me. But okay.
What?
Okay. So just to be
Okay,
clear, just to be
I've had enough. I've had enough of you
just
guys. You
are
have a
you
good
gonna
day.
run?
Well,
Don't
hold
put your
on.
tail between.
It's not
Don't
about
run.
running. It's just that you are full of shit. I bet you don't even have a college education, and yet you're on here with this condescending attitude. You won't listen.
Wait,
Everything you
wait.
say is so combative. I don't
Do I
want to
have
deal with it.
to
All
have
right.
a college
I
education
took
to?
care of him. I took care of him. But Genesis 32:30, Jacob saw God face to face.
Wow.
Okay.
See, and then see, this is why it's contradictory because you can read on a little bit further on. I don't. I wish I had my. I'm gonna get my laptop,
All right. From that
but
my same verse.
right, and then there's the verse that says no man has seen the face of God. So
Yeah.
it's so
Oh yeah.
contradictory. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so contradictive. It's like eye for an eye. Wait, no, turn the other cheek. Like, come on, make up your mind, God. Like, are you changing your mind? What do I do? I mean, we got your characteristics in the Old Testament is very awful, evil, and disgusting, and grotesque to mankind. But the last 25% of the Bible, you decided to change your mind. Wait, was it you that changed your mind, or was it man that seen how disgusting God actually is? And they wanted to continue to build believers and followers, so they had to like change it up a little bit and make it seem a little bit more better when it's not actually. People think
And
that the New
then
Testament.
Jesus repeatedly taught the law. He says you're supposed to follow the law. But then Paul comes along and says, no, you're saved by grace. So Paul teaches a different message from Jesus. So people say they follow Jesus, but they really follow Paul. So that's another fun little thing.
For real. So the reason I was asking him that, if you ever seen your father, like, I mean, because me personally, I know the description of, I can tell you what a deadbeat dad is firsthand. Like, I can tell you that easily, and I can describe it to you. And some of the traits of a deadbeat dad is like, for one, he's not even around. You know what I mean? And the other part of a deadbeat dad, he don't even talk to you. Like, he won't answer your questions. He won't. So just like some simple things. And these are descriptions of a deadbeat dad. But when it comes to their dad doing this exact same thing, what they do is they condone it, they become complicit to, or they find excuses for. Well, my dad does this because you know why? Because he's outside of time and space, so we can't see it. What in the F are you talking about? You know what I mean? It's so weird to me. It's so delusional, and it's so people are lost. And they think that, brother, you probably heard this yourself. You're not thinking outside of the box. You're not think. No, this is the problem. We're thinking all outside of the box, and you're stuck inside of this little bitty box. To where if you think differently, you're going to be struck by lightning, or if you ask questions, you're going to be condemned, or you're going to be shunned from your family and friends. So unfortunately, you can't even ask the questions that we're asking, and that's why we do it, because it gives other people the opportunity to hear the answers to the questions that they want to ask, but they can't ask because they're afraid of being shunned from their families and friends and their people, their neighbors and their people at school. So we do the job for them, and we need people like this. And I love this brother's platform. I love it. The host is when I say keep up the good fight, he knows what we mean when we say keep up the good fight. Keep people thinking rational, critical, logical, with reason. Because once kids are stripped from that, man, it's so hard to gain that back. That's why when it comes to believers, that's why when you hear conspiracy theorists, they're believers. They're believers because they're stuck in this mind construct that they don't need to see it. It's just possible without any evidence to support it. So that's why believers are some of the biggest conspiracy theorists there are.
We have no reason for reasoning. Well, here's the biggest thing. I don't want to get hit in the face, so I'm not going to hit you in the face. Hopefully, you'll
Absolutely.
return the favor.
Absolutely. And the reason that we do return the favor is because we have kids that grow up after us that have to play in the front yard, and we don't want them to get hit in the face. So we make sure all of our neighbors know that, hey, I'm gonna watch your kid, you watch my kid. We are a village, and it takes us all to raise this child. What's not needed, what people don't understand, we don't need God to do this. Like, people fail to realize this. We don't need God to be nice to our neighbors, to help those in need. We don't need God in our life to have a healthy family relationship, to make good grades at school. You don't need God in your life to do any of that. And if there is a God that's gonna set you on fire at the end for just being a good person and just being you, then that tells me a little bit about that God and that he's a freaking moron.
Yeah, it's not the type of love that people talk about when they say love others. Well, they're not talking about the love of a God, because that God's love includes a hell that you're going to burn in for eternity.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. Anyways, I don't want to hold you up
No,
much
you're good,
more.
man. I
I,
appreciate hearing from you like this.
it's just it's difficult, man. It gets so difficult to like so. And just so you know, I mean, I know, like, if I go to Oklahoma, like, and I don't even title myself, but like, if I go to Oklahoma, and I live right on the border, if I go to Oklahoma and go somewhere and say I'm an atheist, that's like saying that's like walking somewhere and saying I'm a terrorist, like, and that I
Yeah.
have like something strapped to me. You know what I mean? And I always tell people, like, if you ever want to experience like what it is to be like, because I have a lot of white friends. You want to know what it is. You want to experience what it is to like what the feeling is like to be a black person walking in somewhere. Go walk into a community of Christians and claim to be an atheist and walk around and see how you get the looks.
Yeah.
See see how people stare at you and kind of clench their bag and like walk away from you because they think you're a freaking devil or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
And I'll tell you, one
anyway,
time, one of my coworkers, he was a cook at the restaurant I was at. He was a black dude, and it was his birthday, so he was going out for drinks after. So I went with him. I was the only white guy in the whole place.
in the
There were
room,
some
damn,
white women, but I was the only white guy. And
right.
man, when I tell you, when every eyeball went on me when I walked through that door, like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Well,
yeah.
not
Absolutely.
really, but like,
No, 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 no. But no, you get it though. Yeah, yeah. So give you a good
yeah,
understanding of what it is to like to just feel different when you walk somewhere, right? And we don't want that,
yeah,
right? We want to feel accepted everywhere we go, you know. And that's just us humans. That every human like wants that. They want the best. I would think, and generally, I would think we all want the best for each other because we all have kids that have to come up with other kids, and we just want our families to like have a good, wholesome understanding of morality and hope that it plays out in our favor, which it does in most cases. But there are cases where things go wrong, and we can see um, monstrosities around the world where things don't work out. But I would say overall, I would like to think that there are more good people than there are bad people, and that we all mean well. We know we're an organism. We know that we like to have sex with people. We know that we like to be in social gatherings as an organism. And then as an organism, we're pretty much looking for food, and along the way, we're going to meet people. Along the way, we're gonna have to make decisions based on our families. We just want to eat. Along the way, we're going to meet people. It's real simple.
yep.
It's real
So
simple. I mean, and luckily there's brothers like you who is freaking effing courageous enough to go like around the world. People can see this from all around the world. That's courageous. And then you're always respectful. You're charismatic, and I mean, of course, we're passionate just as anybody else. So we're gonna have these discussions and these dialogues, but this is what it's about, brother. It's about what you're doing right now. Like I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't like people like you to question these things, then it's just no questions are being asked because Christians aren't going to question it, what they believe, you know. So in the whole, it's literally about what you're doing, brother. What we do, and we always loving and caring and kind, but we give people a different way to think, and I think that's what needs to happen, and what is happening. I went to a church the other day and went live in front of a church, and the pastor came out and asked me what was I doing filming his church, and it was all live, so I'm gonna go back and post the video. But what are you doing in front of my church? Why are you filming in my church? Well, I'm just making, I'm just making some content. I'm on the sidewalk, so I wasn't on no private property or nothing like that. But he's like, well, my first thing was to do is come out here and see what you're doing and call the police on you. Well, and I'm like, well, what?
wow,
What in the world
wow,
are you? Why? Like, what am I doing? Like, and he was like, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to invite you in. I'm going to invite you in. But I was like, well, I don't want to. And it was all live. And I was like, well, I don't want to walk into an abusive situation. And I feel like what's going on inside of that building is very abusive. So I probably won't come in there, but we can talk out here. And we did, and we had a long conversation. It was all live, and it was good. We got to chop it up and
so did a
get some.
conversation with a pastor go any better than with the average
No,
person?
it was absolutely. I'm be honest with you. It went so backwards. It was so like I was blown away because I was asking him questions. I was like, well, 'cause I asked him a question like, so if God created, I'm sorry, yeah, I said if God created Satan, no, I asked him. So did God create Satan? That's what I asked him. Did God create Satan? Well, no, no, no. God didn't create Satan. Satan was created among the people. So I was I was confused, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like,
Yeah,
what? So God didn't create Satan. Well, no, he no, well, he didn't create Satan. He created Satan, but so I was like, so either he created Satan or he didn't. Which one was it? No, he didn't create Satan. So I was just blown away from there
yeah.
because now it's like you're not even being a little bit rational. Like let's at least stick to the script. And the script is the Bible. The Bible says that God created Satan. God created Satan knowing he was going to be evil. God knew that there was going to be people that he was going to have to drown before he actually drowned them. And he wasn't keeping up with me. So I just knew it was a lost cause. It was basically, it's like trying to reason with someone with a major mental disability, I guess, on the way I can look at it. Because I think it
Yeah,
is a
people
mental.
who have followers who never question what he says.
Right,
When you get
right,
somebody asking these questions, you would
right.
hope that he would have better answers, a more
Absolutely.
informed. But
And I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I was very nervous when I did this because this was the first time I did this. Like this was just Sunday. I went up to the closest church to me. There's a lot of churches around me. I live in a small town, but there's weirdly a lot of churches. But so I went to the closest church and um, just standing out there and so it's very nerve wracking for me because this is my town. I live in a small town. We everybody knows each other, and I don't want my kids to go to school and be discriminated
oh
against
yeah,
because you know what I mean because oh that was your dad up there blah 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 and so it's very difficult for me, but at the same time it's very important to me because my kids still goes to a school where a pastor will come up there in the morning before his softball practice and get all the kids together around him so he can share his bullshit ideology to them, his rape culture and hate culture. And
yeah,
I think this is very destructive, um, very very harmful to children. And then my child has to go because she doesn't want to be like the only child sitting back in the back waiting for them to get done because now all the other students see her. Oh, so you don't want to be a part of God? So what does that say about you? You know what I mean? And
yeah,
and it's very so we're in a very like tight spot to what how we want to go about saying what we want to say. And I know there's other people out there like me, but for me it's very hard. I have yet to like go up to the school board and tell them like this is BS. Don't have no one coming up there teaching their own ideology and their own beliefs and stuff to my children. That no child should have to be to succumb to that because what can happen is there can be a pastor that goes up there and preaching and this preacher is preaching about um some evil stuff, right? Because that's their belief and they have a God too and they want to teach their God. No God should be taught in schools, period.
yeah. So I wish I think you're southern Midwest. If I was any closer, I would volunteer to stop by for you because I don't care. You
Right.
know,
See,
I
and
don't, I
that's
don't
what
have
it's
any
about,
kids or
brother.
whatever. I don't
So
have
when you
kids. I don't have other people that would
see
be
and
caught
that's
in the
what it's about.
crossfire.
See, and that's what gave me goosebumps when you just said that because that's what it's about. He's like, look, I don't know you, but look, if I'm there and you need someone to speak up for you, I'm the dude and I'll do it for you because you are right and you are absolutely correct and I agree. That's what it's about, brother. And that just touched me
Yeah,
so importantly. Because that is what it's about. I mean, when we know something is not right, we should stand up for each other and we should help each other out and understand that it's not always going to be easy. Sometimes we do need that that other hand or that other somebody. So, brother, I appreciate you so
yeah,
much, man. I wish you the best. Um, um, there's there are good people, but you're of the better people because there's not a lot of people that are willing to even just say that. So I thank you so
yeah.
much. I appreciate you, but um, I think I'm gonna go live myself now because you gave me some stuff to talk about.
Hey, so let me just pitch one thing real quick. So I got a website, godisababybkiller.com.
Okay, God is it? Oh,
So just remember that because my accounts disappear all the time. Um, so
I
if you
got
ever
you.
want to, yeah,
I'm
if you ever
I'm
want to reach
I'm
out or anything, you're part of my community, so I got you.
Hey, brother, hey, man, hey, same to you. And I'll hit you. I thought I was following you, and anyways, I just did
Well,
it. But
this is a new account.
oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought I was following you, but I'm gonna hit you up on the DM, bro. You'll know everything about me, what I'm about, where I live, because I don't really care about that too much.
Yeah,
If you are ever in my town, in my neck of the woods, and you ever need good food or and you want on vacation and you just need somewhere to stay for a night, I got you. You don't have to worry about entertainment. You don't have to worry about none of that. We'll take care of you, and then you can go home and live your regular life. But so yeah, I got you, brother. So I'll